I'm Ashley. I'm the Communications and Program Manager at Tualatin Valley Creates, and we're having a few people join us still, so I'll wait for everyone to get set up for a couple of minutes here, and then we'll meet each other and get started.
Super.
Hi, thank you. It's nice to see everyone's faces. I'll also start by introducing our executive director, who's on the meeting as well, Razier. She's on my left. I don't know where she is on your screen, but I'm very happy that we're both able to host this meeting tonight for creatives in the area, along with Blackfish Gallery. We have Kelsey and Kristen joining us from the gallery in Portland. And feel free to chime in whenever you want on this call. It's super casual. If you haven't checked out our website, also it's just www.tvcreates.org, and I'll send you some more resources and links in the chat as we go, and feel free to share any resources and links that you would like to put in there as well. So like I said, I'm the Communications and Program Manager. I started with Tualatin Valley Creates in March, and we mostly connect artists and people in Washington County with resources and increase inclusivity and diversity and resilience of the arts in the region. So please check out our website if you haven't already. And with that, I'm gonna pass the proverbial mic over to Kelsey and Kristen to let them introduce themselves and Blackfish Gallery.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in tonight. My name is Kristen Solomon. I'm the director at Blackfish Gallery.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm a member of Blackfish Gallery and also a member of the PR committee and the website committee here. So a lot to do with the virtual and all of that with Blackfish. And we'll pass it, let me see, the director's already been introduced. Christopher, I know why don't you introduce yourself since you're also a member. Christopher, can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Christopher's a member of Blackfish as well. I also know Tatiana. Hi, it's been a while. I don't know the other two faces. Maybe you guys could introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Dara. I'm not a member. Event on Facebook, and I've been trying to work on getting my art out there. And I thought that this would be a really good opportunity to network since there's no in-person networking right now.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Awesome, thank you for joining us. I'm so glad that you found our event.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Yeah, of course. And then Amy, do you want to introduce yourself? I know you from Instagram,
sure.
but we've
I'm
never met in
Amy
person.
Osborne. I'm an artist in Washington County. I've been involved with TVC for a while. Love the live networking events. Those are a lot of fun. And I have art in a few galleries, and we're getting some ideas for doing online stuff, and so I'm just here to rub shoulders with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Sure.
So we've got 3 artists from Portland, 1 from Washington County. That's what I heard, I think. And yeah, I'm so excited that you guys could join us. And if you don't know about our resources for artists, then we have a Razier may type in the chat box how to find our resources. We post job listings and grants and opportunities to exhibit and things like that. So that might be interesting for all of you. And I think Blackfish had some slides or their website that they were going to talk about and show how they've been putting their art online. Is that a good time to pass that to you?
Yeah, sounds good.
Absolutely. So thank you all for being here. We feel honored to speak about our website, especially because it's really new. We just launched this in May. Because of COVID, it was great because a lot of projects that have been put on the back burner, we had time to concentrate on. So I just came on as the new director in January. Kelsey is a new member also at the beginning of the year. So it's been exciting to have, we've had 5 new members come on board, and a lot of them know a lot about social media and technology. I'll scooch up too. Yeah. So we can hear, can you guys hear us okay? Cool. So, so yeah, one of the things that when coming on as the director, I was most excited about was creating, working with the members here to create a new website. I'll give you a little bit more background about Blackfish if you're not familiar with the gallery. So the gallery is 41 years old, going strong. It started in '79. And it was started by a bunch of professors at the museum school, which is now PNCA. And they just wanted to have a space where they could share work with each other in the community. That was before the Pearl District was even like really the Pearl District. So we've really been around for a really long time and have been able to adapt and sustain ourselves as a gallery for many decades, which is super impressive. So now that COVID has hit and so many things have changed and people are struggling to pivot and adapt, this is just another evolution of Blackfish, being able to create the website and do sales online. We've never done that before. So we're so excited with the success that we had pretty early on from the beginning, that the response that we had. So we are excited to share with you the site and any knowledge that we can impress upon you this evening. Feel free to ask us questions. Yeah, so I'll let Kelsey take it away and kind of give you a little tour of our website and tell you more about what we did to build it.
So we use Wix to build it, and there's a few things that in particular we're doing because most things are virtual now. One is getting images of every piece of work and that we can. So we're also a cooperative, which makes it a little bit more, but also easier. It's shared work, but also getting images.
Yeah, we should clarify on that just a moment. Like, so Blackfish is a cooperative gallery, so there's 30 members, so they all own the gallery and take turns doing all the duties around here. I'm just here 10 hours a week. I've got another business that I run in addition to this. So it's really a labor of love of a lot of the artists themselves. And also just a lot of different ideas and thoughts and help going on, which is part of what makes this a success. One of the things I think has been really successful has been the Matterport. So we do this, which allows us to do a 3D virtual tour and walkthrough of the gallery. So you can click on it, see it, click on different spots to see different work. You can even see the backroom gallery as well. And yeah, I think this has been just really helpful creating a gallery tour experience for people who aren't able to come in person.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
So, so how often do you rotate out the exhibitions, and then do you have to refilm the gallery every time?
Yes.
You rotate? Okay.
Yeah, so we change exhibitions once a month. The first Thursday, basically, we'll do this, and a little loud outside. One member has taken it upon themselves to do the Matterport, Someone else does the, and he does the labels as well. Someone else does the website. Someone else does all of the other like various duties, which helps.
A big part of our strength is that we have so many members that there's many hands make light work with lots of different skills. So that really is very helpful.
One of the other things that we've done has also been a Facebook Live event for First Thursdays. And we're still playing around with it. There's been some changes that we've had to make, and even this next time we're going to make a few more changes. And then the third key part that we're doing right now is we have an online store. So you can purchase work online, we'll deliver it, or you can pick up at the gallery, and you just see all the things that are available for the current show. Which we don't normally do. We don't normally like list all of our prices and all of our items. You have to come have the experience, but nowadays the experience is virtual as well.
So is that like the online store, is that totally new since COVID?
Yes.
Yeah, so the whole website is new since COVID, but even our old website, we didn't sell work online. So this is new for us, showing available works online, especially the ones that are in the gallery right now and doing that extra legwork. But with our last show, we had three guest artists, and we ended up selling work in Massachusetts, New York, Georgia. So it was great to have that reach and sales, outside of Portland as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you keep the artwork on the, so after the exhibition comes down, do you keep that past exhibition work on the?
Yes, so we're still building our archive of past exhibitions, but for example, you can see that show that Kristen was just mentioning with the 3 guest artists here, and it will be archived as long as this site exists.
That is just fabulous. That is so wonderful.
Yeah, I love this.
It really helps because so many people will say, for instance, we are showing Steve Tilden's work, and a couple of months ago, a collector had said, I remember this piece and this show, and I can't remember exactly. So it's funny how sometimes work stays with people, and maybe they didn't purchase it then, or couldn't afford to purchase it then, and they really are, months, years later, are still thinking about it. So it's nice that it is on the website and it's accessible to find. Yeah.
I have a question, if I may. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Kristen. I have a question regarding the 3D gallery view. I'm very curious. How many shows have you had already with that feature?
I think 3, right?
Yes.
Yes, 3. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a way, do you guys track all the visits? Like, do you have a way of knowing how popular it is? Or have you maybe had feedback from your patrons and from the gallery goers, whether that's providing them, a substitute experience? Like, what is the feedback from the audience?
We've had feedback that's very positive about it, and that it is a substitute experience in a way. Because there are some limitations to it, like the image quality, and if you really want it to be
what I want to do with it, and I can't, that it frustrates me about it, is you can't like zoom in to just one. Like it kind of gives you a good overview, but really to like go in and focus and close. With this program, it doesn't do that. But this program is also very affordable. I think it costs us like $10
a month.
$10 a month.
Yeah.
So for what it costs us, it's way worth it. We had somebody, Kelsey, can you scroll over a little bit to the nude piece from the show? So I had somebody the day before the opening. So show opened on Tuesday. On Wednesday, so this launched. See how like you kind of can't get exactly to where you need to be. It's not as smart or sensitive.
Well, to do that, you'd have to put a lot more effort in and do a lot more shots. So each place it zooms to is where the camera was when we were doing the 3D.
So this piece right here is case in point, like on the wall, and this, I'm just gonna preface it. This is like an exquisite piece. It's woodcut letters that say nude on a mahogany wood background. You can't really tell from that. So that was a disappointment to me, that you really couldn't get the right quality and really see the art as well. Even this photo doesn't do it justice enough. It was really hard to photograph. So, and you just had to see it in person. It was just that kind of piece. But the man who bought it reached out to us because he saw it on Matterport and wanted to know if there was a photo of it. And I had told him the photo really doesn't do it justice. You really have to come down here. And he was like, man, I'm so intrigued by it. I would. And then he came, and it actually got him to come to the gallery and buy the piece on the spot. So it was, and actually it was funny because he said to me, oh, can I make an appointment for Friday? And I said, well, our opening night is Thursday, so I can't, promise that I'll still be here by Friday. And he was like, is there anyone that's interested in the piece? So anyway, he came down the next morning right away and saw it and purchased it on the spot so the limitation was, yeah, you can't get the same sense of quality, but it's enticing enough to get people then to really come to the gallery and feel like, they've had enough experience walking. I think we've heard so many great things about it. I know other galleries, Russo Lee Gallery has gone and had a professional company and doing like more 3D virtual reality that's just really stellar, but pricey, but probably worth their while as well, just to have that experience.
It gives you a better sense of the scale in relation to other pieces, and also the installation of it. If it was just, a few images of the gallery and then the images of the pieces themselves, I don't think it gives a sense of an actual show.
That's a good point, because we do also put the pieces, photographs of the pieces and the Matterport. So you have the 3D experience, and then we also have the individual pieces, so you can, that photograph, so you can get a better sense of them and the close-ups and the details. So that works well together. But I could see this working well for our artist studio as well, as an artist studio visit, or to really show off your work in your space. I think for scale, it works really well.
That was basically a very self-serving question for me, because I wanted to know since you're already test writing it, I would like to know how much the public is responding to it, because for me personally, I still don't understand the value of it. I can see it as a conceptual exhibit like this for a gallery, but for an individual artist, but again, artist brain, not, art buyer brain. So it's great to hear your feedback. Thank you so much. Very valuable.
Yeah.
Well, in the last business meeting, Kelsey shared with the membership the analytics of our website, and we have seen marked difference in the traffic coming to the gallery. I might also add that mostly the reproductions of works by Blackfishers are of very nice high-res quality, so that if I'm using Matterport to view a show, I can easily pop back out. There's the little tab in the corner of the Matterport screen that links to the homepage again, and every single piece that's in the show has a high-res reproduction. So their experience should be, as good as possible.
I just wanted to jump in. We had a couple more people join us. Jennifer is here. If you want to introduce yourself, I just wanted to give you a chance.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Lichtenberg, and I'm happy to be here. I missed the first 15 minutes or so, but I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Are you in Washington County or in Portland proper?
I'm in Multnomah County, yep, Northeast Portland.
And thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Let's see, I think we should do a few questions now, maybe?
Yeah,
So
that sounds good.
So we have a few questions prepared for everyone, just so we can maybe bounce ideas off of each other. And the first one is, what have you found successes with in putting your art online? What has worked, and specifically also platforms and technologies that have worked really well. Tatiana, I'm going to put you on the spot. I've seen.
I can start. I just don't want this to be like Kelsey talks to Tatiana, Tatiana talks to Kelsey, and Kristen kind of conversation. Sorry. So I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Tatiana Staten. I'm a contemporary figure painter here in Portland. And I have been at this digital thing since 2013. So I have a Squarespace website. It's not that robust, and I feel like I'm outgrowing it, but it's there. And I definitely use social media a lot in a very involved way. I schedule my social media in advance, which I highly recommend if you want to work that, because I don't want to have to spend every day having to come up with what it is it's going to go. So it goes out. I use Later. I've used Tailwind before and I wasn't very happy with it. It has limited capacities and it's also much more expensive for the same type of things that you can do.
I use a creator studio, and it's free, and it will do Instagram and Facebook. It's a Facebook kind of business version of it, and I think it's very successful for us. You can also pre-schedule for IGTV and do other things like that. And if you want to schedule for Instagram, you can just click a button and it'll push it to the Facebook page as well.
That sounds actually, well, first of all, it's free, so that's better. Later costs $20 a month. You're not able to publish IGTV or longer form video with Later. So that's a definite benefit. Thank you for sharing that, Kelsey. I'd like to look into that. Recently, I've completed a mural here in town, and I have never done fundraising, and it also felt like a strange time to raise funds for art. You know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. It was late April, seemed almost inappropriate. I almost didn't do it, and I had such a fantastic response, and I raised quite a bit over my goal. So that was, I would highly encourage artists, especially if you already have, you know, some traction, you have a following, people are interested in your work. It's much easier for me to gather momentum when there is an event to pivot around and to focus around. And especially that this one was not just about me, like, hi, I'm having a sale, buy my stuff, you know. It was, I'm creating a piece of public art, and if you want to participate in this initiative, here are the ways that you can do it. So that's a recommendation, and I used Indiegogo as a platform, and I'm very happy with using it. It was fantastically easy to use.
Tatiana, is that archived somewhere so we can see
Yes.
how that request looked? How do we get there?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by request?
Your fundraiser, your Indiegogo.
The fundraiser.
You want to
yes.
see the entire fundraiser. If you just do a search online for Indiegogo, and I can drop into the chat my name, because if I just say it, trust me, it's not going to be helpful. You will be able to find it very easily. It is still active. It's funded, but you can keep it in demand, so that if after the campaign is funded, you still want to provide those perks to people who want to still donate, you can continue doing it.
Thank you.
And Benjamin, you just joined. Do you want to introduce yourself and where you're located and what kind of work you do?
Thanks. Yeah, sorry to be joining you late. I had a prior commitment that ran long. My name is Benjamin Medford. I am, my direct connection is through Christopher. We work together with the Wilsonville Arts and Culture Council. I'm the director of the Wilsonville Festival of the Arts. This was going to be my first year, so interesting learning curve this year. I'm also the president of the Northwest Stone Sculptors Association, and I'm on the Public Art Committee for the Arts Council of Lake Oswego. So thanks for hosting this. This is great. I'm really interested in hearing more about how other people are adapting.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. It's quite a year to start in that position. So hopefully we all have some tips to share with each other on that front.
So does anybody else have anything else they want to share about your successes? Otherwise, we can move on to our next question for you all.
I have something else to share, which was mainly a key part of making the virtual a success was the social media, as Tatiana mentioned, but also that, so for our July show, the reason our virtual first Thursday was such a success is because all of the artists shared it with all of their friends and all of their networks. And that's really the key. You have to like share it first with the people who are your friends, who you know will be interested in it, and then they'll share it hopefully, and just be direct about it. Like, hey, please share this. Like, help me spread the word, make this a success. And that was one of the key learning points for me on that.
Anybody else want to share? Okay. Well, I think that, you know, a lot of why we're here too is also to discuss like what your challenges that you're facing, what things are you struggling with, what things do you need help with? Anybody want to share some of the more pain point things?
Well, you mentioned you tried something on Facebook Live. This is the virtual opening, and then you're making some new changes. So I'm really curious about what didn't work the first time you tried it.
Great question. Because this is, you know, and that's the thing.
Different things each time.
See, this is the thing that I think that to keep in mind, especially when you're starting out, you know, is that everything is a work in progress. Everything is trial and error with technology, no matter what it is. You just have to find what works for you. So certainly one of the challenges in the gallery was that our internet, which now we've changed, we've upgraded our internet, but finding out that, you know, we just didn't have the bandwidth to do Facebook Live, that was a challenge. We typically have, you know, first Thursdays are open to public. We decided, obviously since COVID, that we're not doing that anymore, but we still wanted it to feel like there were people in the gallery. And last month, we did our first virtual first Thursday with the 3 guest artists for the show Black Power is a Color. And it was Christine Miller, the curator's birthday. And so we thought, oh, we can't have her spend her birthday alone and not invite friends. So we said, as long as we keep it to 10 people in the gallery at a time,
Masks and distancing.
Yeah, people can come by. And I mean, the great thing about galleries, right, is that only people come to see the show. They're not staying for a long time. They're keeping distant. They're not touching a lot of stuff. So we were able to do it safely. So we had a DJ come down and play some music to have some ambiance between artist talks. And then we realized that we got shut down by Facebook because we don't have copyright to the music, and they were on it like that.
Oh,
So,
wow.
During the actual live streaming, they're like, you don't have the right to play this music, and so we're going to shut you down.
Super smart. Like,
yeah.
Recognize the music, and within 15 minutes we were shut down. And we were a little nervous that we weren't going to be able to get back on, that they might banish us or like give us a timeout for the rest of the night or something. So we were a little panicked. But we had to change things around. So with the music. So from now on, what we want to do is invite musicians to come in and play their original music.
We also found some non-copyrighted music on YouTube.
Public domain music.
And it's just background music. On the subject of sound, hearing people in sound is actually a big issue because there's just the 2 of us now, but there's still a little bit of an echo in the gallery. And even with a few more people and a little bit of music, it's really difficult.
Or if I don't know if you can hear that at 7 o'clock and they're still doing the banging for, you know, all the health workers.
And also like staying away from people because you can't wear a mask when you're talking, otherwise you can't understand them, and keeping the distance as the camera person. So now we have a microphone that we're going to use next time, and hopefully that will work better.
we have better internet. We've covered the music thing. Another thing is just logistical of like us here at the gallery, making sure like that we have somebody at the door that's keeping track of how many people are in the gallery, or keeping people quiet when we are doing artist talks for the virtual. I think it's great to, you know, just that little mic, and we've got like a ring light that adds a little extra pop of light that really helps. Because we've got lighting, but the lighting is adjusted for the art. It's not adjusted for speakers. So to have the little ring light where somebody's like holding it to the side, and we've got the mic, that really helps with the quality of it. So we're kind of experimenting with all those things now. But I think the great thing about Facebook Live is getting to engage with people in real time. And having them ask questions. That was really great. Having people type in their questions to the comments, and then we got to ask the artists those questions, and super engaging. Another thing that's great about Facebook Live is that then it, you know, stays on your Facebook page, and so even if people weren't there for the live, they could still catch the recording. And we had over 1,000 views of that, and that was really exciting for our first one. It was really, really great. Yeah. So I think that, you know, we were doing tours of the gallery live, and people were asking us, hey, can you do a tour again? Or I want to see this piece up closer. And so that was a great way to interact with people, right? And so they felt like they got to see and experience the art, and we could be their, you know, eyes and kind of feet to walk around and show them everything. So it was super great. I think we've got another show coming up. Christopher is one of the people that is producing it. We have a show in October that is an exhibition, but also a music festival that coincides with the exhibition. So the exhibition is the Love Politique. And am I getting that right, Christopher? And then the Be About Love Festival is a music festival. So originally when we started this was going to be live at the gallery. Every Friday night we were going to have live music and several performances in a night with a suggested donation, not turning anybody away, but having a suggested donation to help cover the cost to pay musicians for their time. And some of the gallery costs. And now we are in the midst of, okay, we are going to have to, the show must go on. And so we're going virtual with that too, and trying to find creative ways to interact with the musicians and as well as, you know, the space and the exhibition. Now we've got a whole festival full of musicians. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's a new challenge for us to tackle doing something like that for the first time.
A lot of the performances will be filmed those last 3 days of September. So we will hang the show on the Sunday before First Thursday, and we've hired a filmmaker to film the majority of the acts that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we'll edit those. And it's not just music, it's theater, there's dance, there's performance art, and every Friday night there's a theme. And on Wednesdays, we will have a Zoom artist talk every Wednesday, and we'll feature a combination of visual artists and also some of the performers who will offer a preview of what to look forward to on Friday night. And we'll have a premiere streaming every Friday night that'll start, say, at 7:30. And it'll be as close to the experience of going to a concert as possible. There'll be an MC who will thank our sponsors and underwriters, who will introduce the lineup. And then every group will be submitting a virtual performance to us, and we'll put that all together in a single video, which will run. And let's say on Friday night, I want to see this, but I get tied up in traffic. I can start it at 8 o'clock and start from the beginning and not miss the first half hour. Or if I need to go get something out of the microwave, I can push pause. or if I hear a poem, a poet, and they have this really interesting line, I go, I want to hear that again. I can rewind it. So it'll be like having access to a DVD where I can watch it over. And that content will be available for many hours starting at that premiere time. And then afterward, it'll go away for a while, but then come back as an archived document that can be enjoyed on our YouTube channel or archived in our Facebook page. So many of the acts will be filmed with the show as a backdrop. And then there are a few performers who it wasn't safe because of COVID for them to film at the gallery. And so they're filming elsewhere and giving us their performances.
The time element you mentioned is really interesting to me, Christopher. Like it's interesting thinking about events and things with like you're there, you're attending it, but you can pause it, and it's like that's the same as YouTube, but it's not quite because it's a premiere, it's an event. And then the other thing that you mentioned that I wanted to highlight was the interviews. We did that before in May, and that was actually really successful. It helped to do that human connection piece that we were really missing at that time, and create a little bit more of a real connection. So we did interviews with members and just conversations over Zoom and published them, and we got a really good response from that.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was a really incredible project. That was one of the first things that we did going virtually before we even did a first Thursday opening virtual. You know, all of us right after COVID hit and the gallery closed, everybody was at home. And like we shared before, we have a 30-member co-op here, and there's so much exchange of ideas and so much collaboration and community within the gallery that just people really missed each other. And so part of it was for ourselves to connect and have conversations and get to spend time talking to each other. But it was great to let the public in on that as well. It was very organic conversations. I interviewed 2 to 3 artists at a time and just really asked them about their experience, how long they've been at Blackfish, what they're working on now. The piece that we had a group show in May when we launched the website, so we could feature all of our artists. It would be fair to feature all of our artists at once when we launched the new site. So it was really great, the conversation. At one of the conversations ended up being 3 teachers, and I didn't even realize the connection. It just coincidentally, they were all teachers. We have a lot of teachers, Blackfish, but it was coincidental they were all there. And so the discussion turned about education, and it was just fascinating, all the things that came up. And so I think that really helped to engage our audience watching from home as well, and that's what I would encourage you all as individual artists, you know, really to be known. I think that it's like people see your work and they're drawn to it. They want to know more about the person behind it. You know, you put so much of your heart into your work. And so people are already, I guess, subconsciously connecting with you already on that level. So getting to really speak about it and share, and for people to hear the story behind the pieces, even a little bit about the technique
and the process.
It's really fascinating. I would encourage you to share your works in progress and the things that you're even kind of like, I'm not sure about this yet, you know.
It's really hard.
I know it is, but you know what? It's fascinating. It really is. And I think that if you can kind of get over, you know, the need of having perfection and final and really letting people in, it's amazing how you do develop relationships. And that's really a key, I think, to anything long-lasting patrons, long-lasting people sharing your work because they're fascinated with what you do. I mean, I think about, and this is like maybe a little corny, but Bob Ross had such a following. And you know why? Because it's exactly what he did. I mean, you saw him like go through this whole like process from the very beginning to the end, and you were with him through it, and you were like, whoa, blown away at the end.
Very
and
inclusive.
he really had such great commentary and things like that as he was doing it. So I think it still holds up to this day. We all, I don't know any artists, even if you don't love his work, that are like have a soft spot for Bob Ross a little bit, for just not even his work, but his approach, for
just his voice, really.
For speaking to his audience and sharing so much of his process with people. So I would encourage you to do that as well. Like, let people in. People love getting into an artist studio and kind of getting a sneak peek behind the scenes. Like, artist spaces in general are just fascinating. The things that artists collect. I'm even looking in the back of Christopher, you know, he's got all his guitars. I know he's a musician, you know. There's stories behind all the things that you have around, and just sharing a little bit more gets people to actually feel personally connected to you, and they stay engaged.
That actually leads me to my next question prompt, which is, what have you done virtually or have you interacted with as well that causes people to have the most engagement? Either as an artist with you putting that content out, or even as an audience and engaging with other artists and other content.
I mean, I would say, like, personally for me, like, I post like pretty regularly on Facebook and Facebook and Instagram, but they recently released this new feature on Instagram called Reels. So you can make like a 15-second montage and like add copyrighted music to it that like Instagram has the rights to, and you can like film like the process of like pieces you're working on, which like I sometimes feel like my followers like the process, like I like the progress pictures like a bit more than like the final product. I mean, like, I do too, because there's so much promise, you know, like when you're creating, like you can feel like, okay, yeah, I like how this is going, like I like how this is progressing, and it's just like really cool to see their responses to that.
I think that's great. That's fantastic. And I think it also reminds people that this is handmade, you know. I think there's a little bit when especially when you're shopping online for artwork, you're maybe like, well, I don't know, like with the price tag, but when you know something is handmade and you really see the care that went into it, your mind can reconcile that a little bit and understand that there's a person behind this that I'm supporting, that my money is going to, their livelihood. They've crafted it with their hands. They've put a lot into it.
Dara, what did you say that feature was called?
It's called Instagram Reels. So it's like it's kind of like an additional feature, kind of like Instagram Live or something, like you can add to your story like a boomerang. I kind of think they stole it, well, not stole the idea, but they borrowed the idea from TikTok, because like that app's super popular with like, I mean, somewhat like people of my generation, because I'm 25, but like definitely with the younger generation, and Instagram wanted to adapt to that. But I think like it's a cool way to connect not only with art, but like, you know, if you choose a song that you like to back the video, like it's really cool. People are like, oh, hey, I like that song too. And it's just like another level of connection there. But yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoy it. And it, you can choose it to post in your story or on your feed itself. And they have like a little section on your profile now for just reels. So people can just watch those reels on your profile. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think using new features is actually really a good way to stand out on social media. Like for the live, not many people even now really actually go live. So when someone does and you're a friend or you follow them, Facebook or Instagram notifies you. Same with the reel, or same with the stories. Like majority of people still do feed, not stories. So it's if you have a smaller pool, then you're a bigger fish, right?
I want to give a shout out to Benjamin, a very interesting project that he did when we were all trapped in our homes. It's called Corona Portrait Project. And he set up a website and a call to artists, and has submissions, portraits from people all across the country and on different continents. And it's just very fascinating. And he's posted them all, and there's information. I can glide my cursor over an image and, you know, enlarge it and read the specs about the materials, the scale, and many of them also give a story behind it, and it says where they're from. And so that certainly has been incredibly interactive and timely.
I'd like to
drop a link of that. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I feel like I started talking over you. I kind of want to dovetail with what Christopher is saying about Benjamin's project, and also what Kelsey and Kristen were talking about. Since for a lot of us artists are introverts, and maybe the, you know, mingling around on First Thursday is not the ideal environment. I hope this doesn't apply to any of you. It's just me, right? It's been very interesting how so many of the barriers to reaching out to people online have kind of dropped, and it feels like a much more level field, or at least for me. I have forged relationships and connections with artists all over the world. And one of the really interesting things that I have been seeing and I've been participating in, this is Kristen's example of interviewing all the members of the gallery. But what I want to say to all of you who are artists, and you don't have to wait for the gallery director or for the curator to host an event like that. You now, it's just so much easier to slide into those DMs, or just to reach out to someone who you are excited about, and you are an artist, you can interview them. And this way, it's not just a promotional piece. It is also a wonderful way to enrich the studio practice and to engage in this conversation. And at the end, you also both have really awesome kind of elevated content, because it's an interview, and here you are as an interviewer, you're acting more in a curatorial position. So I highly recommend doing that. I've participated in podcasts like that and lives. You can host a live on your Instagram or on your Facebook. Do an open call. Like, who says that you can't do an open call and then all of your followers are going to be enriched and have an interesting experience of seeing all these artists that you also like. So.
I think that's a brilliant, and, you know, cross promotion between artists is a really great idea. Mm-hmm. You know, being able to do an Instagram takeover, or showing other people, sharing other people's work on your feed that who you're interested in, so you can gain their followers and they can get yours. You know, look for other artists that maybe are doing something with some sort of, find some sort of connection. They have to be doing the same thing, but some way that you connect, that you can share each other's work. That's excellent advice. And I think in that same vein too, like, people have never been more accessible than ever, you know, so in the digital world, being able to get someone's contact information and being able to reach out, you know, there are things that come through email that don't get as much response as things that come through like Instagram or Facebook, because there's not as many people using that resource, so you can get attention. And I think that's the other thing that's great, is that, you know, having, I think more now than ever, it's really in the artists. They just have everything to their advantage right now, because you have all this technology and it's fairly affordable. You know, there's things that you can do to garner so much attention. So it's a really exciting time for artists as individuals. You know, we're a co-op gallery, so we're a bunch of artists working together. Me as the director, I'm just here to help facilitate and coordinate things. It's not like a traditional gallery where, I mean, we're a traditional gallery, but not as the same as where we're out looking for artists to represent. Really, we have an open call for membership at all times. We are accepting member applications. So if you're interested in joining Blackfish and being part, I would also encourage you all to, you know, that's for us a great way to vet new members, is being able to see their social media following and get to see behind the scenes of what they're looking at and get to see their online portfolio and get to know a little bit more about their personality and things that they've worked on because of that. That helps us to see if they would be a good fit for the gallery. But I mean, we've been around for 41 years and we've had members come and go. And, you know, that's one thing that's really exciting too. Even having our website is having that on the website and people can apply, you know, ongoing. And then when there is an opening, we review applications. So keep that in mind as well. And there's other places too that, you know, there's so many opportunities that you could really show anywhere and connect anywhere. I think the number one thing is just keeping your confidence up and knowing who you are is really important. And kind of just you establish your style as you grow, and your style changes and comes and goes, and that just kind of ebbs and flows as an artist. But really, if you have a good sense of what your style is or your interest is, you can talk about your work. That's really what's going to engage people, I think, and make you open doors for you and make connections. I think part of the thing that everybody thinks, like showing up to an opening and just like chatting people and having small talk is going to be the thing. And sometimes, you never know, stars align. But I think you can be a lot more strategic and intentional virtually. There's more time to do the research and look through, where it's different when you're kind of in person in one moment, you know. So it's a great resource.
I'd like to add that at Blackfish we have window projects that are, so next to the gallery there's a adjacent space where we have studios that we rent out, and flanking the door to those studios we have 2 window projects. We call them Fishbowl 1, and that's for Blackfish members, and then we have Fishbowl 2, and that's for non-members. And those change every month, and it's 24/7 exposure on the street there.
Right now with COVID, with things being closed or people not necessarily always coming in the gallery, or the gallery's not as open, we're only open 3 days a week, you have the window, you know, that's even bigger right now too. Thanks for mentioning that, Christopher. That's and that application is on our website. So please feel free to go to our website, look up Fishbowl 2 and find out more information and apply to show in the Fishbowl.
We've had artists from all across the country and in Canada apply and have a show in Fishbowl 2. It's crazy.
Do we have more questions?
I think we're wrapped up for our questions. Do you guys have any questions for us? I know we only have about 5 more minutes.
I actually have a question about the Fishbowl. Like, do you think you guys would adapt that to show virtually on Wix as well? Like with like live Instagram artist talks and like showing the pieces in the Fishbowl for those who can't come out?
So we have adapted it, not on our website, but on our social media. We feature the Fishbowl art and artists, and usually connect to their social media accounts on our Instagram and Facebook. We also invite them out to our virtual, half virtual, half in person first Thursdays, and they can do an artist talk and invite a few people as well. Yeah, and before then, they were always welcome to our first Thursdays and could network and talk then. So.
Just opening the floor for any last questions.
Yeah, is it possible for Kelsey and Kristen for you to share your tech? Because I'm sure you had so many good heads put together that you decided which ring light to get, you know, because for video, is it all Kristen? I would love, can I get a link to what you got for this, especially the mic?
Yeah, I can send it out. I have your email, Tatiana.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much. I get so overwhelmed with the tech stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And tech with Facebook Live is also a little bit intimidating because if you try to, there's some features that you can only do when you use your computer to stream. And to do that, you have to have a camera, and you also have to have basically like a little converter so that you can do the image live through your computer and then to the internet. If you don't have that, they cost around $70 to $100 for that, and then you have to have a decent camera. Then you have to use your phone, which is very accessible. Most people have a smartphone that are able to do that. But there are some features that you can't do. For example, scheduling the Facebook Live, you can only do if you're actually streaming from your computer to start it. Otherwise, you have to do a Facebook event. So there's all these little like loops and things that is fairly intimidating and a lot to learn. Yeah, software-wise as well.
Well, I just wanted to thank Blackfish Gallery again for co-hosting with us. You've both been super awesome co-hosts and asked a lot of great questions and shared a lot of great information about your website and how you're doing your virtual events. And I wanted to thank everybody for joining us who's on the call, because there's a lot of virtual events that you could be going to. And we're very glad that you chose this one. And again, feel free to check out our website, and you can always ask questions at info@tvcreates.org. Like I said, we provide a lot of info about grants, calls to artists, even very small ones, and photography contests locally, and also host professional development events and networking events like this. And most of our programs are free. And this year they're all online. So yeah, feel free to keep checking in and sign up for our newsletter. We're also a very small nonprofit, and if you're interested in supporting our Zoom fees for programs like this, you can also go to our donation page. And yeah, just thanks again for joining us tonight. It's great to hear from all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting us. It was great to meet you all. We
Thank you.
Some applications come through in the fishbowl.
Yes, please do.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Everyone, good night.
Good night.
Thank you so much.